Hey, what's up guys? It's Corey here with Dapper Dollars. Today we're going to talk about how Aemetis is exploding profits with this new release of the $200 million offtake agreement with Murex and what this means for the stock and the company in the future. You ready? Let's get started. So this channel is all about using the online income opportunities like merch by Amazon and Etsy to build our income online and then invest this income in things like the stock market and real estate. If that sounds like something you're interested in, like and subscribe and let's get started. So we got the announcement that Aemetis has entered into an agreement with Murex from Plano, Texas, that Murex is going to be off-taking $200 million of product and tax credits from Aemetis in the future over the next few years. So this is incredible information and it is great for Aemetis in the future for a lot of reasons that we're going to talk about a little bit later. But brief summary of what Aemetis is that Aemetis is a renewable natural gas company. They are mostly in the effort, right now in the efforts of creating biofuels in India, creating dairy renewable natural gas in California, and potentially in the future creating jet fuel from waste wood in California as well. Now, this is all a brief overview of what Aemetis is. If you have any other questions about Aemetis, please go to my channel and look at those videos. I've done a lot of work on what Aemetis has done in the past. And yeah, just let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. But let's move on to the news today and talk about what exactly it is that Aemetis has done here and what the play could be for the future and what they're not telling us that we have to read between the lines to figure out in this situation. So right now, we see that Aemetis is signing an agreement with Murex to offtake fuels from Aemetis in the future. So let's first talk about the word offtake instead of selling, because in the business of selling products from business to business, it makes sense to use the word sell to imply that there is a transaction. Someone has something that someone else wants, and they are selling it. However, this is not the case here, because they said that Murex is off-taking supply and tax credits from Aemetis. So does that mean that Aemetis is essentially running out of storage space and they're giving the product to Murex at a discount so that they're at least able to continue producing dairy renewable natural gas or other biofuels in the future and not have to shut down their capacity? Because I'm sure this is much like any other oil and gas or petroleum-based industry out there. It is much more expensive to stop production than it is to just give it away at a cheaper price or potentially pay someone else to store it for you. So Aemetis is actually coming out on top here because they're not having to pay someone to store it. Instead, it is being paid for by Murex and is being off-taken by that company. So let's also talk about a little bit of the tax credit situation a little bit later. However, let's first talk about what exactly Murex is and why this is significant that this is even happening in the first place. Like I said, Murex is a fuel and petroleum fuels marketer out of Plano, Texas. Now, this is very important because the word marketer means that they are essentially the middle person for petroleum fuel suppliers and consumers. The relationship here is that there is, say, a company like Aemetis, and then there's a company like Valvoline that is a gas station that distributes to other people. Technically, they're both businesses, but it is not very likely that Valvoline is going to talk directly to Aemetis to order their gas. There is going to need to be a transporter of the gas from Aemetis to Valvoline, and there is going to need to be coordination of how all of this happens. And that is where a company like Murex steps in. And thankfully, they are one of the largest marketers of petroleum fuels and ethanol in the U.S. This is great news because that means that they have a list of people who will likely want to try this product. The biofuels that Aemetis is producing are things that are going to be very wanted and desired by other companies because we are very aware of the fact that there is a shift away from petroleum fuels and to electricity. However, there is a brief change that's going to happen in the middle that we seem to be in the middle of right now because we don't want to lose the power that we get from petroleum gases. However, we also aren't able to fully rely on the electricity supply that we have now. So there needs to be something that is also carbon neutral or close to carbon neutral, but retains the power of petroleum natural gas. So that is where the company like Aemetis comes in, and they supply something that is a carbon negative product or a carbon neutral product that is a biofuel. And with this being done with Murex, the top marketer of the ethanol fuels in the US, we can definitely be, almost reassured that it is going to be a great opportunity for Aemetis, because like we just said, there is a great list of clients that this company has. And so this seems to be a opportunity for a bunch of companies to try the biofuels that Aemetis is producing. Because while $200 million is a lot of money, if you look at the overall energy sector, it is a very small amount of money. $200 million might be what Baker Hughes or Halliburton makes per hour on what they on their selling of the fossil fuels that they produce. So with this off-taking of biofuels from Aemetis to Murex, we can almost take it as a guarantee that this is a sample of what Murex is going to be able to distribute to some people, and we will see if there are future orders in the future to help us to determine whether or not this was successful. Because if we don't see other orders from Murex or companies like it, we're going to be fairly certain that this is not a great thing for Aemetis, and it's not working out. So I am very bullish on Aemetis, so I don't think that is going to be the situation. I do think that Murex is going to have follow-on orders. I do think other companies like Murex are going to, come to Aemetis and want to market their product as well. So this is great for Aemetis. And also we need to talk about the fact that there is the issue of the tax credit situation. This is an interesting part that was in the negotiations and the signing of the deal with Murex. This is different because whenever we look at Aemetis in the past, and we've gone over Aemetis's quarterly reports, we see that the tax credits that they get from the low carbon fuel standard from California is an incredible way for them to put as much money on the bottom line as possible, because right now Aemetis is not exactly in a great cash flowing position. They are stretching to reach $1 billion in revenue by 2025. However, the amount of taxes that they are saved from paying with the low carbon fuel standard tax credits is going to really help them to be, appealing for people who are investing in this company to see that Aemetis has growing revenues. However, once we take this once we reload the tax burden by offloading the tax credits to someone else, we're going to see that it could potentially damage Aemetis in the future. So what gives? Why are they giving away these tax credits? And one of the likely situations is that Aemetis sees that the potential profitability of these tax credits by selling them or offloading them to someone else is going to be greater than actually applying it to their own balance sheet, or that the revenue is going to be more impressive than having a tax write-off that could eventually go away in the future. So again, I agree with that. I think that it would be great for Aemetis to show more revenue on the balance sheet than to show their ability to finagle taxes, to avoid paying taxes, to push more on the bottom line. Because like we talked about in one of the last videos, Aemetis has started a process of carbon capture, and they are going to be making not a ton of money from that, but they are going to be saving a ton of money in the low carbon fuel standard tax credits, and that is going to tremendously help Aemetis. So with all those extra tax credits, I think it does make sense for them to offload it to someone else and potentially be paid for that and have it show up as revenue on the balance sheet. Now, I don't know if this is exactly what is happening. This is all just my speculation. So don't quote me on this. This is just how I think this is all working out behind the scenes. We don't have the contract in front of us to read it to see what exactly happened, but we can definitely assume from everything that's happening here that this is going to be potentially how it plays out. So anyway, let's look at the plan for Aemetis in the future, because there is some information in this release that came out that is going to be indicative of where Aemetis sees this relationship going in the future as far as what Murex is able to do for Aemetis. So in the end of this presentation, we see that Eric McAfee, the CEO of Aemetis, says that they are looking to use Murex to expand their market reach. Now, this is great because Murex is the leading marketer of ethanol fuels in the US. However, they are also the lead exporter of ethanol fuels and petroleum fuels in the US to other European countries or other nations like that. So with Eric McAfee saying this, it is reasonable to think that they are going to also go after the broader world market, which would take this company from being potentially a 40 to 50 billion dollar company by just using the California region, because being based in California and being tied into the PG&E pipeline, that is really where they're going to get most of their profitability. However, if Murex is able to expose Aemetis to the broader world market, and the world market enjoys the biofuels and finds them useful, and the dairy renewable natural gas takes over as well, we are going to see a massive expansion for profitability for Aemetis in the future. So with all of this said, we can definitely read between the lines and see that Aemetis is potentially going after the world market itself, and could lead Aemetis to be a multi-hundred billion dollar company in the future. This isn't written in stone though. We don't know that that's exactly what they're doing. However, we can see that Aemetis says they want to expand their market reach, and the people that they're working with have the best marketing expertise in the US and the best exporting marketing in the US, going out of the US. So all these things in place, we can definitely see that it makes sense that Aemetis would be able to reach the broader world market if their product is usable by other countries and desired by other countries. So anyway, with all of this being said, I hope that this helps. And remember, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube. This is all strictly entertainment purposes only. But I do want you to know where I stand on this company long term. I'm super bullish about this company, and I love to see what Aemetis is doing all the time. Everything that they're doing is super impressive to me, and I think that it's been amazing to watch this company, and having been invested from the time that it was $2 a share to now, we're getting back up closer to the 20s that we were, and hopefully we'll see this go into the 30s or 40s. So anyway, again, I hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you have a great week as well. And remember, someone is going to do something amazing every day, guys. Why not you? See ya.